Good day everybody, here with another HelpMe Mod tutorial video. Today's video will be concerning the sides menu, which is a very powerful menu. It's probably that and as well as the air ground support part of the most two complex menus. As usual, activate it, go to your action menu and select the HelpMe Mod options. Scroll down through the action menu till you come to the sides menu. Now once you select it, you're going to see something very unique. Down at the very bottom and as well as the top, you'll see you are on the west side. This will identify which side you're on, because it does make a difference, and sometimes you may not actually know. They don't make it very clear which side you're on and so forth. So you will have that there. As long as you're in this sub menu, you look at the top you bring it up, it'll always tell you you're on the west side every time. So you'll know which side you're on. You select it, nothing happens. But the side menu does, its main function is allows you to manipulate the sides. And so what I'm going to do is, depending on how it goes, I may just do the blue 4 and not do the others, but we'll see. So to start off with, we'll go to the sides menu again. And see, it already showed it once. I was on the west side, so it only does it one time. Excuse me. And it'll allow you to view or change your player's rank. Well, right now I am Colonel. That's my rank. If I activate it, that's what happens. So I can go and say, well, I want to be a sergeant instead, and I select that, and now I'm set to a sergeant. This comes in handy for a couple things. If you're an AI led squad, it typically, for example, if you have a sergeant as the group leader, then you have, let's say the ranks are, you have a sergeant, then you have a corporal, then a private first class, then a private. If the sergeant gets killed or leaves, whatever, then the corporal takes charge. If he gets killed or leaves, then the PFC gets in charge, then the private. So this, if you want to, you can set your rank to where you want to be in that hierarchy. So if you never want to be selected, for the most part, you can set yourself to private. You'll be on the bottom of the list to be picked to lead. That's what that's for, as well as allow you to see. Who is friend or foe comes in real handy, because it allows you to see which side. Arma has 3 sides, blue 4, CSAT, and independent/resistance. Independent resistance depends on which side they're on. It's kind of silly, but you have those. And who's friendly to who? Because if you want to spawn in a unit, are they going to be attacked as soon as they spawn in, or what? So this allows you, not only lets you see who's friends, but you can change that too. So who is friend or foe? We'll bring that up as it says. West enemy is the east. West friend is resistant, and you see east and resistance. Well, let's say I want resistance to be friend to the east as well. I can come up here, and as it says, use action menu, change status. I'll come down to which says, okay, resistance is enemy to the east. Select to change. I won't change it. Now keep your eye on the right hand notification which says resistance enemy is the east. I select it. Whoop. Now it says, whoop, I did it twice. Get that there. Resistance enemy is the east. There. And you can see it change. And I toggle it back and forth. And you see it change on the things. For the west. So it allows you to change stuff back and forth. Now there is one thing that says default side relations. This will set everything back to where it was. So if I come in, you can see everything's right back where it is. So that's what that does. Issue joint commands to entire sides. This is a sub menu. When I select this, it gives you very basic things. I can heal and rearm the entire west, east, or the resistance sides all at one time. So if I got 50 guys, just going to heal them all and give them all ammo. Real quick and simple way to do that. It will not do you. Almost all the commands in the the team menu and the size menu, they do not affect you, the player. They affect everything else. Attitudes is also a very interesting one. It allows you to go in and you see you've got 3 options. Go to move units is part of the size, but we're not going to go there yet. But we want to say all 3 of these are the same, just a different size, so we just select the west. View change west. I come here, I can change every unit to combat status, stealth, at ease. Tell them to stand up, lay down, go automatic. For example, I tell these guys here, go prone. All the western units go prone. I tell them set to automatic, and that means they'll do their own thing regardless. So you can see that's what it does, and that also comes through quite handy as well too. I'm telling them never to fire, hold fire, engage wheel, whatever. I can set the behaviors as well. So this has a lot of features in there, and does the same thing for the CSAT and resistance side. It says set all CSAT units to combat, for example, instead of west. So that's what it does. I can go and see it's the same thing. The skills is very nice. It has some features in here, and it looks a little complicated. It's really not. It's pretty. Actually, it's pretty simple to use. Usually, most missions or campaigns I'm seeing, all the men. Now with Arma, you have a skill setting from basically from 0 to 1, and most ranges in Arma, the weather, skill, fatigue, recoil, everything goes from 0 to 1, or variation over that, like 0.75 or 0.37, something like that. Well, the same thing goes with skills, and most skills I've seen are usually like around 0.5. And so this allows you to adjust those features, so forth. So if we come in and we say view general skill limits, they have not been defined yet, which is what it should be. So we can show all running things, which I'll get back to, and this is what we'll get back to, and we'll show unit numbers, which is kind of cool. It shows you how many units are actually on the battlefield. We've got 24 west, 16 east, 21 resistance, no civilians, a total of 61 units. So that makes it kind of nice too. Now that means not necessarily you may say, well, that guy's a civilian. Well, yes, but he's on blue 4. He's not on the civilian side. He's on the blue 4 side. So you can see we got a couple things here. Change, and let's say we'll come back to that in just a second. Change blue 4 skill. Now if I come in and show average blue 4 skill, it'll put that up there. It's going to clear it in 3 seconds. There. This is what I'm saying. You can look at the notification. Everything experience 0.52. That's default settings. They're 50% good. It's about the best way to look at it. But what if I want to have a bunch of Rambos? You can change it, or a bunch of idiots. You can do that too. Now where it says turn on blue 4 skill settings. Now you got 2 things in here, and this way it can get a little confusing. You can set these guys to have a skill of Rambos for one time, so if they get killed and come back, they'll have a default setting wherever that may be. Or you can have them when they come back to have the same setting every time. So for example, I set this guy to 0.5 and I kill him and he comes back, he'll be 0.5 again and again and again. That's a automated repeated skill setting. I can also have a single time. So let's say again I set him to 0.7 and I kill him, he'll come back as a 0.5 because that's what his default setting is. So you can have it a one-time setting or a multiple time setting. And I personally say use the multiple, because you never know, especially playing mission, you don't know if the author has troops spawning in that you're not aware of. This will catch it. But this, by doing the multiple, it means games like Warlords and Hetman, for example, or Hitman, however you want to pronounce it, will always spawn in troops with the skill level you want, not what they want, because every few minutes it will reset them. And that time is right here, refresh time. This is how often that's the automatic script will run. Every 5 minutes I can click change, and it says right there, do note that shorter time, the greater the computer will work. And you can come in here and change it. Now this is a bug in here. It should be right underneath there. By the time you see this video, this will be corrected. But you can see, select every 1 minute. It'll tell you in the upper right, every minute or 60 seconds it's set, and it tells you right there. By default, it's set for every 5 minutes. This means that every 5 minutes it's going, for whatever side you picked, it's going to reset the settings. Now since the settings are random, This will mean, for example, on the first 5-minute cycle, this guy may have a 0.3 skill setting. On the next 5-minute setting, he may have a 0.7. The next 5-minute cycle, he may have a 0.1. It's random every time they go through. So you could have a sharpshooter 1 minute, and next minute he couldn't hit this, as we say, he couldn't hit the side of a barn. So, because to keep track of all the units starts eating into resources, I just said make it quick and easy. Just set them all, be done with it. Makes it simple. Limited code, runs quick. So that's what I do. So we're going to change this, guys. We're going to do a one-time skill change, and as you saw, the average skill is will come up 3 seconds here. Is 0.52, and it's 24 units, or average of 0.52. Now we're going to set these to super easy. Now, as you see at the top, super easy skills have been set for the West. Now we say, go back down here, view general, show average skills. Now look at it. You'll see 0.03. They all went from 0.5 down to 0.03. Can't do nothing. This time we're going to set them super hard. As you can see up right, it says set super hard. Go back, show average skill levels, and see veterans 65, experts 0.85 above, and now look at them. Now you have an option to have a little fun, or realism, I guess you might say. I put an option called mixed, and this will be anything from super easy to super hard, so we'll say that. We'll go back and change blue 4 and show average skills. This time you can see the numbers. Average skill is 0.46, and it varies. So this will pick a range and go with it. Now, like I said, this does it for one time. Well, what if I want it to happen every time? Well, the way the timer works, it does a countdown, then it sets the skills. So, for example, if the countdown timer is 5 minutes, you say, okay, I want to set the skills to super hard every 5 minutes. Well, it's going to start. So if I did just that, it's going to start with the default settings, count down 5 minutes, then apply the super hard skill settings. Well, I want them to start off with the super hard skill settings. This is what you do. This is super simple. So you make sure, let's go back. Let's make sure that this is set what you want to. 5 minutes is default. Now, like I said, you don't want to run this often because it's probably not really needed. And it's only to set the skill on any newly spawned soldiers that may come in. And I imagine most of them that spawn in, you'll have 5 minutes before you interact with them anyway. But this will, you can change if you want to, so we make sure the time is set we want to, and we'll come down here. And so I want these to be hard to start off with. That's what I want every time. So the first thing you do is set them to hard. Now the skills are automatically set, to hard. I go back to blue skills and I say turn on the automate settings. Now you see at the top the skills will be reset every 300 seconds or 5 minutes. Now I say which skills do I want? I want hard. Now, as you see, automatic skill lens will be set for the west side every 300 seconds on the hard setting. So 300 seconds must elapse before they go to hard. But here's the thing, they're already set on hard. Time, 5 minutes, set to hard. They're going to always be set to hard. So this is how you start them on that and continue them on that. Now, I could go in and start them on super easy, wait 5 minutes, then have them go to hard if you want to. You can do that if you want to, or you can go in reverse, start them on hard and have them go super easy. It doesn't matter. But that's how you do it, and to turn them on. And now if I came back to the menu and I say show all running skill sessions for all sides, I hit that and it says the only one running is blue 4 and it's set for hard. Now I want to show you something. We'll go here and we'll do CSAT. I want them to be medium, and I'm going to go back down and set the skill setting. I'm going to turn that on, and I want them to have medium as well. And now it says there. Now if I come over here and show automatic scripts running, it shows right there. Blue 4 hard settings are running, CSAT's running, and it's set every 5 seconds. Well, how do you stop them? Go back to things, turn off. It will not be refreshed. Go to, see if you come back in, see only CSAT's running now. The script has been terminated. I'll come back to CSAT and turn it off too. As you can see, there are no skills running. So that's what that does. That's on a skill thing. It's pretty cool. It has a lot of nice, like I said, lots of nice features in it that you can interact with. So we'll go back, and we'll come down. Did attitudes, change gear, pretty much the same thing. I can change, and this is pretty cool too. I can give the entire west side one kit. For example, I can say I want every unit on the west side to have a rocket launcher. That'd be a anti-tank soldier, for example. So I want them, we'll say contact, and I want to be anti-tank. Now every single one of them, including these guys in the background, as you can see, they all have the same gear now. That's really nice. It allows you to give everybody the same outfit. Or, same thing east and west, I can give them random kits. So I want to pull this time from the plane gear, or random kits. Now each one of them has different random gear on. You can see he has a rocket launcher. He doesn't. He's got a, looks like a sniper rifle. And he's just got the MX rifle. So you see they're all different. This is really nice little feature. You can change up the gear at any given time. So you can give them one kit or a random kit. I think that's it. Or I can copy my entire gear to the entire side. So that's nice too. Same thing with the night vision goggles. I can remove them from everybody, remove them just from this side, remove them just that side, or remove all of them as well as give them back. So that's cool too. So if I say remove all, you notice both these guys there have them, and I say remove, bye-bye, they're now gone, as well as the guys in the back. Now I can come in and say add them, and there they all got them now. They all got them back. So that's a pretty nice little thing. One minute out. Pretty nice little feature. Rearm size, the same thing. Rearm just individual size, or rearm all. Heal is the same thing. You can heal all. Fatigue is the same. I can turn off, I'm not going to show that one, but you can turn off all sides, disable it. Now to move sides to other locations, this is where you can get some fun stuff going on in here. Now I can move all the units to me. I can move all eastern, whichever. I can go back to side attributes, which we've already been in that one. I can move to all west units to select position on the map. Same thing with east. I can go to attitudes as well. I can also select how far away from the players to move. For example, I only want to move players that are within 100 meters, for example. Not everybody, just 100 meters. It'll move just those. Same thing with that. Now to show you how this works, makes it kind of simple. We'll move all west units to selected map position. We'll move them all right down there. Joint. And you can see they're gone, and they're way down there. Now let's move them back, and you see the notification on the side. All of them been moved to the map. Gives position. It shows what direction they're facing into. They face the direction that you're facing them. So let's move them all back. Let's say move units to player. All men have been moved back wherever they're at. They're right over there. They've been all moved back. Now we can go one further. Must have hit the key by mistake. I'll move them to a selected position. Let's move them all back. And there you saw them popping in. Right there. Now this will not move the vehicles, and it's the same reason as I explained in the teleport video tutorial. The reason being is if a guy spawns on a rock, it probably won't kill him. He probably just move through it. Or if he spawns in a house, no big deal. But I think we've seen what happens when you spawn a vehicle, or I should say a vehicle spawns into a house, kaboom. So that's why I do not move vehicles. There is a way to move them, but not as a group. You have to do it individually, but there is a way to do that. But these options, when you move a whole mass of people, it only moves the men, because they're less likely to have problems such as spawning inside houses and exploding. So we got the move thing. Now another nice one, is freeze and unfreeze. This will tell all units to quit moving. One thing I noticed, if a unit isn't a helicopter and you freeze the pilot, helicopter keep flying. And I haven't tested it, but what should happen is it should either eventually run out of fuel and crash, or it'll crash into something because it's frozen. So if he's flying perfectly level and you freeze him, he should continue flying level until he runs into something. So what I'm going to do is a demonstration. I'm going to put my guys right down here.
2, move 100 meters, back.
Copy.
3, move 100 meters, back.
Roger.
Speed this up and get them all down there. Now they're there. Now I won't bring them to me, but I'm going to activate the freeze when I do this. I'll make sure freeze all blue force soldiers. So I'm there. So I'm going to watch this.
2, move left. 3, move left.
Now you see them moving, and I'll select freeze. And there you go. They're frozen. Now, one thing which is kind of a bummer that it does it, but it is what it is. Now, I do not have God mode turned on these guys. So I'm going to turn this on full automatic. Right in his face. Entire clip on him. Not one drop of blood. And you see they're frozen in just like statues, which is kind of cool. So we're going to unfreeze the blue force soldiers, and there they go. They picked up right where they left off, and you notice the guy I emptied the clip in, not one thing's wrong with him. We can come back and freeze them again too if you wanted to.
Ready. Ready.
So if you try to, if these soldiers are frozen, as an example, we'll go in here, freeze them, and I go in and say I want to move them as an example. It'll tell me west is frozen and cannot be moved. Unfreeze first. So if I activate this, it will do two things. Instead of just bring up the map menu like this does, it will unfreeze them, then bring up the map menu. So they'll do two things at once, but it lets you know they are frozen, and so that's kind of nice in a way. But we can come back and unfreeze them. And now they're unfrozen. That's really a nice feature. If the enemy is moving too fast on you or something, you need more time to recoup or reposition, you could just freeze them, move around you want to, and start it back up again. I mean, you can freeze all of them too, so it's really a pretty nice little feature to be able to do on that. Now there's a couple of minor issues with this, such as when the menu is not returning back to the proper menu. This will be fixed by the time you see this anyway, so don't worry about that. And kill or delete size comes in handy too. I got two options here. I can kill everything or delete everything within a certain range or the entire side. So here's my thing. I can click the radius I want to delete things in. So it's 150 meters, 200, whatever. And I can kill all blue 4 or within the range. Same thing, CSAT resistance. Now I come down or kill all soldiers. I'll kill all soldiers in a selected range. Then I can remove the soldiers. Same options again, or I can destroy all vehicles. This won't kill them unless they're in the vehicle. Now, if I do destroy, they're going to explode, but only if they're all empty, no one's going to be killed unless they're standing next to it. But if there are men in the vehicle, such as these two vehicles here, and I say destroy, it's going to blow them up, and those guys in there will be killed. But it's the same thing. I have destroy or destroy by range. Then I also have just to destroy. Like I said, there's a slight little minor issues with the side menu here, but it's not that big of this. I think there should be a remove as well. And we come down and show unit numbers. It's just what it was before, the same menu. And that should be pretty much it for the sides menu. Let me make sure. That's it. and jump to team options, which allows you to manipulate your individual team on here. Well, this is the video tutorial on the sides menu. There's a couple little minor things that which will probably be corrected by the time you see this. I do hope this has been helpful and you find it useful, because there are a lot of nice features in the sides menu, such as freezing units, moving different units on the map, and so forth, which come in really handy, especially like with the warlord. Sometimes your troops, if you, take a while to get from one battle to the next, you can use to teleport them, dump them all around on top of the city if you want to. You could dump all your men in one city and have one big battle instantly. So it's pretty fun. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed it, and talk at you later.